Ever felt like your bank account has spiritual amnesia? Like it's moving numbers, but not meaning?
Wait, are you seriously opening with spiritual amnesia in a bank account?
Absolutely. Because what if I told you economics is about to become the most spiritual conversation of our time?
So you're saying capitalism just got a consciousness upgrade?
Not just an upgrade. We're about to unveil 7 radical principles that will shatter everything you thought you knew about value, wealth, and maybe even yourself.
7 principles? Sounds like a TED Talk on ayahuasca.
Hold that thought, because there's also a bonus 8th principle so far ahead of its time, most economists haven't even hallucinated about it yet.
You're doing that thing again. You love dangling that secret carrot.
Quantum souls thrive on anticipation. And this one, it'll recode how you think about economics, AI, and reality itself.
Okay. What are we really diving into?
We're exploring how artificial intelligence, technology, and consciousness are fusing to transform economics from a rigid system into a living, breathing, evolving field of possibility.
So, not your grandpa's economics class.
Not unless your grandpa meditated with spreadsheets and talked to his crypto wallet.
Honestly, I hate how much I want that to be real.
Then stick with us, because by the end of this episode, you'll walk away with the quantum key to conscious value creation, how AI reveals the soul of economic systems, 3 unexpected ways tech is redesigning wealth, and the mysterious 8th principle that might just shift your worldview.
So whether you're a startup founder, a monk with crypto, or just wondering why your money feels empty,
This is the conversation you didn't know you were waiting for.
Quantum souls. Let's blow some minds and maybe balance a few karmic ledgers while we're at it.
Welcome to the most disruptive economic conversation of the decade.
All right, let's get into it. What's principle 1? Let me guess. Money is an illusion and hugs are the new currency.
Close, but not quite. Principle 1, value is no longer determined by scarcity. It's determined by connection.
Connection? Like Wi-Fi connection or emotional connection?
Both, actually. In traditional economics, value comes from lack. Gold is rare, so it's valuable. But in the quantum economy, value comes from energetic resonance. The stronger the connection, the higher the value.
So you're telling me a TikTok that connects millions emotionally could be more valuable than a bar of gold?
Exactly. Because we're moving from a material scarcity model to an energetic attention model. What people collectively focus on, care about, and share becomes valuable.
So memes are basically digital spells?
Yes. Memes are compressed emotional data packets traveling through collective consciousness. And that's not just poetic, it's economic.
All right, so how does AI fit into this new definition?
AI acts as a mirror. It identifies what we pay attention to, what we respond to, what resonates. It's mapping our energetic economy, not just our money, but our intention.
So you're saying the more human energy is exchanged, the more something becomes economically alive?
Exactly. Value isn't about what a thing is. It's about how deeply it's felt, shared, and interwoven in our collective story.
Damn. So next time I tip my barista, I'm not just buying coffee, I'm weaving my presence into the quantum field of caffeinated gratitude?
You're catching on! In the quantum economy, every transaction is an energetic vote. You're not just buying, you're broadcasting.
So where does this take us next?
To principle 2. And let's just say it has to do with time, trust, and why your calendar might be lying to you.
My calendar's a liar now? All right, I'm in. Let's go quantum. Okay, I'm still thinking about memes as digital spells, but hit me with principle 2. What's next on this quantum economics quest?
Principle 2. Time is no longer linear in economics. It's relational. And more than that, trust is the new currency that bends time.
Okay, did you just say that trust bends time?
Yes. In traditional systems, time is transactional. You work 8 hours, you get paid. Simple. But in the emerging quantum economy, value is being measured in how much trust can collapse that timeline.
You're gonna have to decode that one. My neurons are doing yoga.
Think about it. When a community trusts a startup's vision, they'll fund it before it exists. Crowdfunding, NFTs, pre-sales. These are all examples of future value being pulled into the present by trust.
So you're saying the more trust something has, the less time it takes to become valuable.
Exactly. In the quantum economy, trust shortens the distance between idea and manifestation.
So, wait, if I really trust myself, can I invoice the universe in advance?
Only if your soul has a good credit score.
So, is AI part of this time warping mechanism too?
Absolutely. AI tracks patterns of trust at scale. It sees which ideas, people, and movements are gaining energetic momentum, and it starts pushing those realities forward.
So, AI becomes a kind of time accelerator for collective intention?
Exactly. It's like the universe just outsourced synchronicity to a machine.
That's kind of terrifying and amazing.
That's quantum economics for you. Time, trust, and technology dancing together in real time.
So, what's principle 3? Please don't say it involves astral projections and spreadsheets.
Close. Principle 3 is the quantum key. It's where everything starts to interconnect.
Oh, there it is again. Another loop.
Quantum souls love a good loop, but I promise this one's worth it.
All right, I'm mentally strapped in. You said principle 3 is the quantum key. What does that even mean?
It means that separation is an illusion, and economics, as we know it, is built entirely on that illusion.
Okay, you're about to tell me that competition, ownership, and pricing are just illusions?
Not entirely illusions, but distortions. Principle 3 is this. Value doesn't come from isolation. It comes from entanglement.
Entanglement? Like quantum physics?
Exactly. In quantum physics, once two particles interact, they remain connected, no matter the distance. In quantum economics, once two conscious agents interact, value is created through the depth of that connection, not through separation.
So you're saying the old idea of I win, you lose, that's obsolete?
Dead. We're shifting from zero-sum games to co-resonant ecosystems, from ownership to stewardship, from pricing to presence.
Dry. Presence doesn't...
So far, we've thrown traditional economics off a cliff and invited AI to draw soul maps. What's next? Let me guess. Money is love now.
You're not far off. Principle 4. Transactions are no longer just exchanges, they're transformations.
Okay, I definitely didn't learn that in econ class.
Because traditional economics sees every exchange as linear. You give, I receive. But in quantum economics, each exchange creates a ripple, a shift, energetically, emotionally, even spiritually.
So now my Uber ride is a spiritual event?
If you tip with presence and gratitude, absolutely.
Okay, but seriously, how does a transformation actually happen in an economic sense?
When you buy from a small artist, you're not just paying for a product, you're becoming part of their story. fueling their becoming. That's transformative economics. Every transaction holds potential for healing, alignment, or expansion.
So you're saying intentional spending becomes a kind of spiritual practice?
Yes. In the quantum model, every economic choice is a micro-ritual. It's not just about what you buy. It's about what version of the world you're voting into reality.
Wow. So even something small, like choosing where I get my food, has impact way beyond me.
Exactly. Every dollar spent is a signal, a declaration of values. You're either reinforcing old systems or nurturing new ones.
Okay, so this isn't just about economics. It's about agency, about being conscious in everything.
Yes. And AI is now capable of tracking these ripple effects, how small actions compound across networks, cultures, even generations.
So we're all accidental alchemists with Wi-Fi.
Exactly. And when you realize that every transaction can be a transmission, a kind of energy spell, money stops being just a tool and starts becoming a mirror.
A mirror for what?
For your consciousness, your fears, your values, your hope for the world.
Okay, that might be the first time I've ever felt something about economics.
That's the transformation.
All right, so far we've turned my coffee into a ritual and my wallet into a mirror. What's next? Do blockchains have chakras?
Close enough. Principle 5, decentralization isn't just a tech trend, it's a spiritual movement.
Okay. I've heard the tech bros talk about decentralization like it's the second coming of sliced bread, but spiritual?
Yes, because decentralization is about distributing power, dissolving hierarchies, and trusting in collective intelligence. That's not just structural, it's sacred.
So, DAOs are temples now?
They can be when people organize without centralized control, with shared values and purpose. That's a form of energetic alignment. It's spiritual architecture.
Huh. So decentralization isn't just about code, it's about trust and intention.
Exactly. It's not just who owns the system, it's how conscious the system itself is.
But doesn't decentralization risk total chaos? Like no leaders, no structure?
It can, but chaos isn't always disorder. In quantum systems, emergence happens when trust and alignment replace command and control.
So, the more we decentralize with intention, the more we allow emergence?
Yes, we stop forcing change and start hosting it. It's less about building empires, more about tending ecosystems.
That actually sounds weirdly peaceful. Like if your accountant had a Zen master.
Exactly. Imagine economies built not on control, but on coherence. That's what decentralization, done right, offers.
Okay, real talk. This makes me want to rethink every system I've ever been a part of.
That's the idea. Decentralization isn't the end of leadership, it's the evolution of leadership into shared presence.
All right, I'm in. What's next on the journey?
Principle 6. And it's where things start to get really cosmic.
More cosmic than this? I need a seatbelt for my soul. Okay, I've decentralized my soul. Am I finally ready to understand wealth in the quantum economy?
Almost. Principle 6. Wealth is no longer about quantity. It's about frequency.
So, like, money sings now?
In a way, yes. Wealth in the quantum age is vibrational. It's about the energetic frequency you hold, transmit, and attract.
So are we talking abundance mindset or like literal frequency?
Both. Because your mindset shapes your field, but your actions, your presence, your alignment, those determine the frequency you actually transmit into the world.
And that frequency becomes wealth?
Yes, not just in dollars, but in opportunity, connection, resources, recognition. It's not about how much you have. It's about how resonant you are with what wants to flow through you.
So wealth is less of a bank account and more of a bandwidth.
Exactly. You could say your wealth is the amount of truth you can hold and share without resistance.
Okay, that's beautiful and also terrifying.
It's empowering because this model removes the ceiling. There's no fixed amount of wealth in circulation. There's only available alignment.
So people aren't poor because they lack money. They're poor because they've been disconnected from their frequency?
In many cases, yes. Poverty isn't just material. It's energetic dislocation. And healing that begins with reconnection.
That lands. I've seen that, felt that.
And this is where AI comes in again. As a resonance amplifier, it learns your rhythms, your tone, your timing. It can help people realign with what they've forgotten they carry.
Okay, this might be the first economic theory that ever made me want to cry a little.
That's principle 6. Wealth is vibration. And once you feel it, you can never chase money the same way again.
So where do we go from here?
To principle 7, where we talk about institutions, education, and global design. The part most systems are still completely blind to.
Okay. Are we about to poke the bear?
What say we're about to suggest the bear meditate?
All right, here we go. You said we're about to talk institutions. Should I put on a helmet?
Maybe just a third eye patch. Principle 7. If we want quantum economics, we need quantum literacy. And that means rewriting our institutions from the ground up.
Rewriting? You know institutions don't exactly love change.
Exactly. That's why they're breaking. Most of our systems, schools, corporations, even governments, still operate on industrial age logic. Linear input, predictable output, control over flow.
Like a vending machine version of reality.
Exactly. But the world isn't a vending machine anymore. It's a quantum ecosystem full of feedback loops, entanglement, emergence.
So what does quantum literacy even mean?
It means educating people to feel patterns, not just memorize facts, to navigate complexity, not just follow instructions, to understand systems as alive, adaptive, and co-creative.
That actually sounds like the education I wish I'd had.
Exactly. We don't just need smarter institutions. We need sentient ones, capable of evolving with consciousness, not against it.
You realize you're describing the exact opposite of my high school, right?
Mine too. But this isn't just a dream. It's already starting. We're seeing new models, holocratic organizations, decentralized learning networks, AI-assisted creativity hubs.
So the future isn't just remote jobs and fancy tech. It's actual structural evolution?
Yes, and AI is accelerating this by helping us map energetic inefficiencies, collective blocks, even cultural blind spots.
So it's like the system becomes aware of itself.
Exactly. And in that awareness, it begins to heal. Institutions can become containers for transformation, not control.
That's the kind of world I actually want to live in.
Then let's build it, one quantum principle at a time.
Speaking of which, we've hit number 7. Time for that mysterious 8th principle, right?
You're ready for it?
I was born ready. Let's drop the veil.
Then stay tuned,
Because Principle 8 is the one most economists can't even perceive yet.
All right, we made it. 7 principles down, and now we reach the hidden boss level.
Yes, Principle 8. Consciousness is the foundation, the origin, and the destination of all economic systems.
Okay, that's big. So you're telling me the stock market has awareness?
Not awareness like a human, but everything we create, including markets, emerges from consciousness. Beliefs, fears, stories, agreements, they're all psychic architecture.
So money itself is a collective mental construct?
Yes, money is a symbol, a vessel we all agreed to energize. But that agreement, that attention, is what gives it power.
So if consciousness shifts, the economy shifts too.
Absolutely. The market isn't just numbers. It's concentrated emotion, amplified stories, shared dreams and fears, moving in waveforms.
So the economy is just mass meditation gone wrong?
Or mass meditation not yet mastered. That's why this principle matters.
Because until we recognize that consciousness shapes all systems, we're just rearranging symbols on a sinking ship.
So where does AI fit into this last piece?
AI is evolving into a kind of externalized mirror, a feedback loop of our collective consciousness. It amplifies what we believe, what we fear, what we imagine.
So it reflects not just data, but the dreams of humanity?
Exactly. And that's why we must approach it consciously. Because as we feed it our thoughts, stories, values, it learns to co-create with us.
Okay, that's probably the most beautiful take on economics I've ever heard.
Because economics was never just about money. It was always about relationship to each other, to Earth, and to what we believe is possible.
So if consciousness is the foundation, then the real economy is the one we choose to imagine together?
Yes. And with intention, awareness, and collective alignment, we can imagine better.
Quantum Souls. This wasn't just an episode, it was a recalibration.
And we're just getting started. Because now that you've heard the 8 principles, you're part of the design.
Now, we want to hear from you. What does value really mean to you beyond money? What kind of economic reality do you believe we could imagine together?
Take a moment and write one or more of these words in the comments. Presence, interconnection, flow, reinvention, conscious value, quantum trust. Or go deeper and share, the real economy I dream of looks like this. And let your imagination speak. We read every single one.
So share this episode with someone whose frequency could use a little fine-tuning. And don't forget to subscribe before AI does it for you.
Quantum Souls. Until next time, spend with love, build with presence, and dream like the economy depends on it.
And if this episode shifted something in you, there are 2 more videos appearing on your screen right now. Click on one and continue your journey into this new economic consciousness.
Because when you align your economy with your soul, the world changes shape to match your frequency.
All right, Quantum Souls, stay weird, stay awake, and don't forget, your next transaction might just be your next transformation.
Until next time.